Hello, welcome to Walk in the Park. My name is Tony Ingram. This is the 2nd of December, 2015. If you want to see all of my shows, Walk in the Park, you can go to my video blog, walkinthepark.tv, walkinthepark.tv. Well, this week we are in the week of the global climate meetings that the UN is sponsoring in Paris. Huge deal. So let's talk a little bit about that. Quoting here from something written about it here. This is the international political response to climate change. Began at the Rio Summit in 1992, where the Rio Convention included the adoption of the UN Framework on Climate Change, UNFCCC. This convention set out a framework for action aimed at stabilizing atmospheric concentrations of greenhouse gases to avoid quote, dangerous anthropogenic or human-caused interference with the climate system. The UNFCCC, which entered into force on 21st of March 1994, now has a near universal membership of 195 parties. The main objective of the annual Conference of Parties, it's called COP, is to review the convention's implementation. In 2015, COP21, also known as the 2015 Paris Climate Conference, will, for the first time in over 20 years of UN negotiations, aim to achieve a legally binding and universal agreement on climate with the aim of keeping global warming below 2 degrees centigrade. So this is a climate treaty we're talking about here. This is a big deal. If we don't get it right this time, I don't want to think. But this past weekend, this began on Monday, 2 days ago, this past weekend, there were actions all over the world, in countries all over the planet, in support of and urging these big climate talks to produce something actually meaningful, including right here in the Finger Lakes. And I was over at Watkins, Glen on Sunday, and there's a group called We Are Seneca Lake, which hosted a walk there. See what I can say about them. Yeah, in the Finger Lakes area, there was a Finger Lakes March for Global Climate Action on Sunday. We Are Seneca Lake. They've been opposing the plans by Crestwood Corporation. So there's a lot of focus in their action on, We Are Seneca Lake is an ongoing citizen-based grassroots campaign that seeks to protect Seneca Lake and the surrounding region from gas storage expansion by Texas-based energy company Crestwood Midstream. Our intention is to direct the future of our community down sustainable, renewable pathways. So wearesenecalake.com if you want to find out more about them. So I'm going to just give you a little bit more background on that. Crestwood's intention is to repurpose the crumbling salt mines underneath Seneca Lake's hillside into massive unlined gas tanks for three highly pressurized products of fracking: methane, or natural gas, propane and butane, LPG, or liquified petroleum gases, and turn the Finger Lakes into a fracked gas transportation and storage hub for the entire Northeast. So anyway, they have been opposing this for years. Here is an aerial view of the site where this Crestwood plant, that's an old U.S. salt plant there on the shore, and then just to the left of center are all kinds of development that has been done by Crestwood Corporation. And right at the bottom of this picture is the entrance to the plant area. Big brine pond there. There's a lot to learn about that issue, and a lot of it is referred to in the climate march, Finger Lakes Climate March for Global Climate Action that took place on Sunday at Seneca Harbor Park. So let's get right into it here. Let's take a look at what happened at Seneca Harbor Park. We're going to have several speakers. We'll start off with Sandra Steingraber, who is an Ithaca College biology professor of some note, and then followed by Barbara Lifton, who is our New York State Assemblywoman, so who's been very active in these issues. So we'll go right to Seneca Harbor Park.
Margie Rogers. I, along with all of you, we are Seneca Lake.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
We are
Seneca Lake.
Seneca Lake. The message we send today is a twofold message. When you fill salt caverns with poisonous, explosive, hazardous fossil fuels, you not only threaten the climate, you threaten the drinking water too. And our message, no to fossil fuels and yes to renewables, is being replicated by people all across the land today, all around the world, in 175 nations. They are marching. More than 200 marches. So every one of our feet, every one of our footsteps is a vote that says we want a strong climate treaty. Enough talk, it's time for action out of Paris and out of our local officials here too. It's why we wear the color orange, the color of the climate emergency. It's the color of people at work. We are hunting for a serious solution to climate change. And we have 3 public officials who are taking their job to protect us, to protect the climate, protect the future very seriously, and we're proud to have them. So first up is Barbara Lifton, Assemblywoman. She was a legislative leader in the fight for a statewide ban on fracking. Now she helps spearhead the effort to implement a renewable energy future for New York State. So here is the head of that spear, Barbara Lifton, my hero.
Thank you for being here today. And thank you for helping to urge a very strong climate treaty in Paris as the conference of the party begins tomorrow. Thank you for all the work that you've been doing at all levels. National, international in some cases. I know we have Bob Howarth here. We probably have some other folks that have been working internationally. And at the state level, of course, lots of activists here, I bet. Yes. And I know Crestwood protesters, thank you all. Working in the fine tradition of Gandhi and Martin Luther King. Many of you working in your communities on renewable energy. Many of you working at the local level to get better environmentally sound decisions made. You have been living the environmental slogan, and I noticed someone had it behind me, think globally, act locally. And others around the country, as Sandra said, are doing the same thing today and have been doing the same thing for many, many months and years. And we are together building a new environmental movement, and it's growing quickly. Joining with others amplifies our voices, makes us more powerful than we feel on our own. And we certainly learned that with the fracking battle in New York State. We won that battle together because all of you were involved.
Yeah.
World leaders gather tomorrow to begin negotiating a binding climate treaty. I hope our U.S. leaders reject the absurd counter-arguments that I hear too often. I'm sure you hear them. The Chinese are not doing enough. Really? Since when did the U.S. say, we're going to let the Chinese lead this battle in the greatest moral crisis, the existential crisis we are facing? Let's sit back and let the Chinese lead. Since when? Since when? The U.S. has always led in great times of moral crisis, and we should lead again.
Yes, indeed.
Or, of course, we hear it's bad for the economy. Nonsense. We all know now that that's nonsense. It will be a saving of our economy to go green and go sustainable. One of my favorite bumper stickers, I'm sure you've seen it. Maybe you have it on your car or your bike. There will be no jobs on a dead planet. There will be no business on a dead planet. The future of your children and mine, your nieces and nephews, the cute kid next door, depends on a strong treaty. With all the people marching here today and around the country, weighing in the ways that I've described, we are sending a very strong message to our leaders that we expect the U.S. to lead the world in moving quickly to a renewable energy future. This is an historic moment. The tide is turning. We must continue our work in the months and years ahead. But today, I am feeling great hope that we will build that sustainable future for ourselves and for our children, our grandchildren, and for the entire world. Thank you all for all your work, all the work you've already done, and all the work I know you're going to be doing in the days ahead. Thank you all very, very much.
Okay. Now we're going to hear from Mike Lausell, who is a Schuyler County legislator who has been working very hard on the local issues, particularly as they refer to the Crestwood salt cavern gas storage boondoggle plan. Little editorializing there. He's going to talk about the dangers to the town, some of the risks involved, and also to the state park in the terrible chance that something should go wrong on the very old railroad trestle that passes over the state park. So let's go hear from Mike Lausell of the Schuyler County legislator.
Michael Lausell represents the town of Hector and the Schuyler County legislator. As the champion and defender of the crown jewel of the Finger Lakes, Watkins, Glen State Park, Legislator Lausell enacts the ideal that what we love and what brings visitors to our fair community, we must protect. Legislator Michael Lausell.
Good afternoon. As a Schuyler County legislator, I can tell you that our county government supports the efforts of Solar Schuyler, a county-wide endeavor to install solar panels on homes and businesses to increase the amount of green energy produced in our county. The county government also supports the expansion of our local agriculture and creating links between producers and local consumers so that locally grown products are available right here in our own community. There is a renewed emphasis on smaller farms producing a wider variety of foods. These efforts help create a more resilient economy, lessening our demand for fossil fuels. At the same time, we are struggling over approval of the LPG storage facility in our county. Some believe the jobs it will add to the local economy are a plus, while others believe the dangers to Seneca Lake, source of our water supply, far outweigh any benefits and militate against the approval.
Right.
As a county legislature, my responsibility centers on protecting our community from the hazards of the transport of LPG by truck and by train through our community. My background as an attorney has enabled me to bring these concerns before the DEC by participating in their issues conference. Along with County Legislator Van Harp, we have questioned the adequacy of the risk studies that have been submitted, along with presenting to the DEC the problems of the particular geography of our county. In short, the long downgrade where loaded trucks would come down the hill into the center of the village, and the train trestle where loaded rail cars would pass through the Watkins Glen State Park. These are our Achilles heels, the places where something can go terribly wrong. The Watkins Glen Gorge is a natural wonder a steep, deep rock path where many visitors go to see the waterfalls, the pools, the sculpted rock. The trestle that the gas will be traveling over is located right at the north entrance to the park. There's a large parking area, restrooms, a gift shop, campgrounds across the gorge. From the north entrance, visitors descend 180 steps down into the gorge. And from there they can look up and admire the 175-foot tall trestle that passes over them. The trail leads through the gorge down to the other park entrance at the village of Watkins, Glen. Buses drop people off at the top so they can just walk down, or the other way they walk up. And there's even a park shuttle bus that provides that service to everybody. So what they do, they encourage people to enjoy walking through the whole 1 mile gorge. Now, the state park is a very popular destination. I don't know how many of you know, but last year we attracted almost 750,000 visitors to this park. It was voted the #3 most popular state park in the entire country. When visitors are at their peak, anyone that's gone up that first section, you know it's elbow to elbow. I mean, people are going up, people are coming down. With crowds this large, transporting LPG through the Watkins Glen State Park is tantamount to building a theater with no emergency exits. With the narrow confines of the gorge, there is no way you would get away from the heat or the blast of an explosion. Now, the risk analysis states in black and white, a tank car falling from the trestle would explode. The result would be a fireball. There would be no escaping that. And again, it would just be amplified down the tight confines of that gorge. The safety of our community and the security of our local economy are reasons enough to deny approval of the facility. But I leave you with another compelling reason. In this time where we're talking about saving our planet, and we're talking about saving places that are a refuge where we go to see the beauty and the wonder that is the world that we live in. The Watkins Glen Gorge is a natural wonder. Visitors from near and far travel here to enjoy its unique charm. It would be a mistake to subject our beautiful gorge to the risk of daily transport of explosive fossil fuels over the train trestle. Let us save the Glen. We must save the Glen. Save the Glen.
Save the Glen! Save the Glen! Save the Glen! Save the Glen!
Okay. We're going to move right on to Martha Robertson, who is a Tompkins County legislator who has been a big leader in these issues as well. So let's go here, Martha.
On the other side of that hill is Tompkins County, and representing the town of Dryden, the Tompkins County legislator, here is Martha Robertson, mother, grandmother, and business owner, in addition to being a public servant who works on transforming our energy systems. Martha is a long friend to We Are Seneca Lake. Last winter, when we were all locked out of the courthouse in 6-degree below temperatures, Martha stood out there with us and also served as a courtroom observer. Thank you, Martha Robertson.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all for being here. Hello, Seneca Lake. If you're cold, remember, it's supposed to be cold in November. This is a good thing. They say all pollen
local, and we sure saw that in the fracking fight in New York. More than 850 local elected officials signed on to a letter to Governor Cuomo from every county of New York State, including Schuyler County, including Schuyler right here, signed on to say, we're not okay with this, no to fracking in New York State. And courageous town officials all over the state, especially Dryden and Middlefield, said no to fracking and took that fight all the way to the top court in the state and won. But you know, and those officials know, they didn't do it alone. You made them do it. Dedicated citizens like you knocked on doors, carried petitions door to door, spoke to legislators, came to town hall meetings. You made them do it. You battled the propaganda of the industry. You convinced the skeptics, and you were the wind at the backs of all those officials who wanted to do the right thing. So thank you. Keep going. You can do it again. Elected officials at every level of government have to hear from you again and again and again. After this march, call your local legislator. Tell them you were here, tell them what you heard, tell them what you thought about it, and ask her what she thinks about it. Yeah. And then go to your next town hall meeting. Ask them what they're doing to cut their carbon emissions. Why not have solar panels on every goddamn highway department and every town hall in this state? I didn't mean to say that. Cut that part. And after today's march, call your congressman. Because Republicans in Congress this week are voting to attack President Obama's climate agenda, deliberately undercutting his message in Paris. How cynical. So call Tom Reed and you tell him, not in my name. Yeah. Say that. Not in my name. One more time. Not in my name. We may not get his vote this time, but 300 phone calls are sure going to make them a little bit nervous. Yeah. Yes. And while you're calling, you tell Tom Reed it's time he divests himself from the fossil fuel industry. Yeah. Last cycle he raked in $300,000 from oil and gas interests. This cycle he's already up to $60,000 in campaign donations. Go to John Plum for Congress. He's going to win this fight with your help. But you tell Tom Reed he's supposed to be representing us, not them. Yeah! Now, what they say politics is local, politics is personal, too. Because this is about our family. It's about our farm. It's about our future. 50 years ago, my mother marched in Selma, Alabama for civil rights. 30 years ago, she marched for nuclear disarmament in the Great Peace March that went from Los Angeles all the way to Washington, D.C. And if she were alive today, I know she'd be walking with us. So today, I'm walking for my mom. I'm walking for my kids and my grandkids, as all of us are, because this is personal.
Okay, great talk. Let's go to the walk. Okay, there were a number of other speakers, and they went on back to Seneca Harbor Park, but that's all we have time for today. So thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.